also, as Tom mentioned, abortion is a central issue in the 2024 campaign. Saturday marks 1 year since the Supreme Court overturned Roe v. Wade. Justice Samuel Alito arguing nowhere in the Constitution does it say the word abortion. If states want to take this up, they can. If Congress wants to take it up, it can. Well, since then, we've seen showdowns playing out at the state level over abortion bans, while other states have expanded abortion access. And with us now to talk about how this topic and its impact on the 2024 election is panning out, we have Rina, Shah, Republican strategist, and also Tim Hogan, Democratic strategist. Good morning to you both. Thanks for waking up with us this morning. Rina, let's start with you. There's been massive debate over whether the Roe reversal held off that red wave that Republicans were expecting in last year's midterms. But RNC Chair Ronna McDaniel recently said many Republicans refuse to talk about abortion and should address the issue head on this time around. Do you agree with that being the best strategy?
I disagree with the RNC chair. And look, she's been wrong on a lot of things. I think she should stay out of this one because she's clearly not looking at the polling, which shows that younger women, women of reproductive age in particular, who are registered as Republicans, are trending towards pro-choice. And look, as a pro-choice Republican myself, I know that I'm not in the minority in today's Republican Party. We may be a small group, but we are growing. And what I mean to say by saying not in the minority is that you have a lot of women who've left the Republican Party in the past 7 years. They have either chosen to change their registration to independent, or they're choosing not to politically participate. And I think that's really problematic. That's something we saw in the immediate aftermath of Trump's election in 2016. Now, again, did a lot of those people come back into the fold in 2020? Yes. But after the midterms, this last go around, we saw that trend again. According to the Kaiser Family Foundation just last month, they're saying 6 in 10 adults disapprove of the Supreme Court, and most don't trust the court to decide reproductive health cases.
And 69% of Americans believe abortion should be legal in the first trimester of pregnancy. And speaking of polls, Tim, I want to bring you in now. You obviously take every poll with a grain of salt, right? But a recent NPR Marist poll did show that 31% of voters said the economy was their top concern. Actually, abortion came in 8th place at just 5%, saying it was their top priority. Will abortion still even motivate voters, more than a year from now when the presidential election is held?
The answer is yes, and I couldn't agree with Rina more. I mean, we've put this issue to the test, and we know that voters care about it. We've had ballot initiatives in states across the country that have focused on reproductive freedom. In deep red states like Kansas and in Kentucky, they have worked to, and voters have approved initiatives to protect reproductive freedom in state constitutions. And I think the issue is you're seeing how reactionary some Republicans have become. They're like the dog that's caught the car. They just don't know what to do now. In Idaho, you have a travel ban for some people who might want to travel out of state in order to access an abortion. You have in Wisconsin, Republican legislators there refusing to change an 1849 law written by men, voted on by men, to deal with some of these issues. You have, we hear day after day stories of women with ectopic pregnancies, for example, in Tennessee, who aren't able to get the care that they need. And it has ultimately left tens of millions of women without access to reproductive care. It's extremely dangerous, and it's still going to be motivating. People will say the economy is extremely important to them, but for many voters, this is just a huge overstep. And it's what happens when, Republicans have been working since the 1970s to overturn Roe.
And exceptions were extremely vague in Justice Alito's argument, that's for sure. Rina, which side politically has the potential to capitalize on this more?
I believe Democrats are winning the messaging war on this entirely because what they're saying is that your bodily autonomy is on the line. You no longer have the freedom to do what you need to do. Look, in this country, I'm a person of faith, but I cannot legislate if I was an elected legislator with my holy book. Yet we see that happening from coast to coast. People think it's all right to impose their religious values on others. And where American public opinion is on a ban, particularly with Republicans, is somewhere between the 10 to 15 week mark. These 6-week bans are nonsensical, like the one Governor Ron DeSantis signed in Florida in the dark of night. Most women don't even know they're pregnant at the 6-week mark. I myself have had 3 children and never knew at the 6-week mark. Of course, that was a personal thing. But you have women in rural communities like the one I grew up in southern West Virginia,
who can't even afford to leave to go out of state. Yeah.
And they can't go to a doctor and find out. So what I'm really saying is that these bans that are happening led by Republicans in state houses are nonsensical. They just do not appeal to Republican voters writ large. They're meant to pander to a small, very, very small subset of Republican voters.
Rina, Shah, I hear you. Tim Hogan, you too. It's rare that we have kind of bipartisan agreement here on this. Thank you both for joining us this morning. Appreciate it.
Thank you.
Thank you for watching. Go to newsnationnow.com to find News Nation on your television provider. And don't forget to click the red subscribe button below to get more of News Nation's fact-driven, unbiased coverage.